The Teddies of Rosehill Cottage, written and narrated by Maggie Shaw. Episode 9, Two More Waifs and Strays. It was Saturday, and the sun shone down on the garden at Rosehill Cottage. Old Mr. S. sat down in his deck chair on the lawn with a good book in his lap. He loved days like these when he didn't have to go to work and he could sit in the sun reading a good book and drinking a good mug of tea. A gentle thud on the grass made him look up. He had never heard a sound quite like that before. He looked to his left, but nothing odd was there. He looked to his right, but nothing odd was there. Then he looked straight ahead down the garden path. Something very odd was there. Old Mr. S. walked down the path to investigate. On the grass beside the gate sat a stuffed toy dog. She had a tan and cream body with fluffy ears and a brown patch over her right eye. But oddest of all, she had two pouches. One of the pouches was large enough for Mr. S. to put his hand inside and turn her into a glove puppet. The other pouch was much smaller. It used to hold a box for batteries. Now it held a little puppy with a cream body, brown paw pads, and a blue ribbon around her neck. "How strange," said old Mr. S. He opened the gate and looked up and down the street. No one was about. It was as if the two toys had dropped into his garden out of nowhere. He took the two toys inside. The trolley in the hall of Rosehill Cottage was getting quite full of toys now, but he moved the Teddies around a bit and managed to make a space for the two toy dogs, on the right near the front. Then he went out for a walk to the paper shop to put a notice in the shop window. It read, "Found, Rosehill Cottage, two stuffed toy dogs. Please call to claim." While old Mr. S. was out, the toys on the trolley gathered around the two dogs. They could tell the new toys felt lost and upset. They wanted them to feel better. "Hello," said Mamma Ted. "Welcome to Rosehill Cottage. I hope you'll be very happy here." "Yes," said Papa Ted. "We're so pleased you've joined us." "I'm Baby Ted," said Baby Ted. "What are your names?" "I'm Poppy the puppy," said the smaller dog. "I love hiding in my mummy's pocket." "I was called Happy Harriet," said Poppy's mummy, the bigger dog. "But I don't feel very happy now." "What happened?" asked young Ted. "I used to be able to waggle my ears and flap my mouth and make happy noises," said Harriet. "But then someone pulled something out of my pocket and put Poppy in the pocket instead. Then I couldn't waggle my ears or flap my mouth or make happy noises any more. So they threw me away over a hedge." "Oh, how sad," said Pink Ted. "I think we can help," said Mamma Ted. "You see, somehow when we're all together, we can do things we never thought we could do before." "Like singing carols," said Carol Ted. "And rescuing Minnie Ted from the car," said Papa Ted. "And talking to old Mr. S. so that he can hear me," said Grand Ted. "It's like a magic power," said Tartan Ted. "It happens when we're all together and wanting the best for each other." "So if we all gather round you and wish really hard for you to feel better, perhaps you could become Happy Harriet again," said Mamma Ted. The toys all gathered round Harriet and Poppy. They wished with all the power they could master for Harriet to be happy again. At first it didn't seem to do anything. But then Harriet felt her mouth move a little. She tried harder, and her mouth moved a lot more. Then her ears began to flap. At first they just flapped a little, but soon they waggled like thin wings. And then everyone heard Harriet laugh. She laughed and panted and woofed, and all her body wagged with joy. She looked so happy that all the other toys on the trolley started laughing and dancing too. "Thank you all so much," said Happy Harriet, "for making me feel better again." "We're so happy you've come to join us," said Grand Ted. "Even though the way you came here was so sad," said Mama Ted. "Aye," said Tartan Ted, "we haven't been this happy for years." So the toys on the trolley at Rosehill Cottage were glad that no one answered old Mr. S.'s notice in the newsagent's window. Whenever life on the trolley seemed a bit dull, Happy Harriet flapped her mouth and waggled her ears and laughed and panted and woofed until everyone else felt happy again too. Have you ever lost something and then found it again, like Harriet did? How did you feel when you got it back?